Stephen, we've talked before about the importance of communication in leadership and the fact that true communication is what's received rather than just what's transmitted, and the challenges of the pressure cooker of leadership, and so often the fact that people don't get it. So let's have a look at some of the, if you like, top tips on how to communicate so that the message is understood.
Alex, great point again. People are under pressure. Let's acknowledge that. And it takes time to communicate effectively. So top tips, simple things we can do. Let's focus on planning. When we're going to communicate a message, let's get clear on what message we want people to hear, and then how and what we are actually going to say. If we can do that in a very simple and methodical approach to people, and then check in, the chances of getting effective communication are that much higher. So just be clear on what you want to say, plan it, and how you're going to say it, how you want it heard and felt, and then check in that people hear it. That's a great tip, I think.
Okay, so the planning of it, really important. I'm also fascinated about the way that people process information, because they process information through a variety of modes. So their sight and their sound, for example. How can you take that into account when you're planning that communication?
Again, coming back to leadership, know your people. How do people process information? So if it's very visual, what visual cues are you going to use to land a message? If it's very auditory, if it's people like more written communication, then understand that about your people and share the message in that format. But always checking in for clarity. When you check in for clarity, what tends to happen is people get a chance to play back for you that they've received it, because it is in the receiver's eyes. How they hear and see a message is going to determine what impact they will have in terms of delivering the results that you're looking for.
Okay, so knowing that what's received is what counts. 2, planning your communication. 3, thinking about various modes of communication and the fact that people process information in different ways and maybe using more than one to reinforce it. But finally, what I'm hearing, and you've mentioned it a couple of times, is checking in, validating the message that's been heard to confirm that the communication is as intended.
Alex, just underlining why that's so important. One of the key things I hear about poor communication is wasted effort. People going down 3 days doing something that is not what you asked for. When you check in, people's efforts, they are aligned in service of what you're looking for. It saves time, it saves energy, it builds more motivation, because people don't feel deflated when they get the feedback. That's not what I asked for.
Thank you, Stephen.